Hello everyone. I wanted to quickly show you how I work in a normal workflow when I retest some of my own open source work that is sort of fresh off the print. There might still be bugs in there, or at least some, migration issues. So for this stuff, you just saw that it was loading. In the background, we're just running two init tasks. In this case, I was installing kernel headers and I was installing a BPF tool, well, because this is an eBPF course. And so these are actually relatively intense tasks, so they take a second. So whenever I really want something and it's a stable task, I run it as an init task. And I personally am rather straightforward and even put very unstable feature branches here directly in there. I mean, people will, they can judge that this is alpha. So what I want to find out now, before I merge the PR, is that it's actually working. I'm not going to break any functionality. You see that now we had one of these runtime tasks. They just went green, and we can go into the task debugger again. And what happened is this git clone task here, that one just went green. It's a rather unspectacular one. And we're now waiting for this one to go green as well. And another important information is that if we want to find out later if somebody gets stuck with something, if one stats on the playground, if we want to watch from behind, from a remote, then it is those tasks, the status of which that we can remote check or get the statistics on. So just having the playground started, that's also an event, but we cannot see what people are actually doing inside their labs, because the way the labs works is that each time a Firecracker VM is being spawned, and we cannot see inside of those Firecracker VMs. There's nothing that from the outside, maybe as an instructor or a teacher, we cannot see what people are doing in there. And now shortly after this, so this task seems to not be working. That's an interesting case to debug. So how would I debug this? Okay, I'll go to the task debugger. This is the verify kubescape health. All right, so I've got stuff in there. Let's check node status. And I'll paste it in here. And let's see, echo status. What we got? So that should be true. All right, pod status. Oh, there's a succeeded. That's interesting. That's definitely wrong. So let's see what happened there. Yeah, because that should just be running. And yeah, let's fix it. So how do I fix this problem? Now, and this is also the difference between these labs and Jupyter is the whole development of the lab environment itself. So I'm not going to build a container. What I need to fix now is this command had the wrong selectors. All right, so I'm going to go to this task definition. And those are always in index.md. That's where I define these tasks. Now I need to find the right one. In this case, it was kubescape health, verify kubescape health. And we said the pod status was wrong. And in this case, we want the namespace honey to be involved. Now I'm going to check this one now in the lab. So this is my new command. Now let me test it here and echo that again. There's still a succeeded. Let's do it again. There we go. So this should be the fix, but just to be sure, we're going to make sure that also that guy here, the next one, is correct. That should also only be running. Running. All right, so that's correct. All right, in order to reload such a task, we first have to save it. Then here in the background, it was just loading this. So it was just pushing this index up here. So this labctl in the background is constantly hot loading this. And now in order to see that it's actually correct, we have to restart the lesson, which in this case is a bit slow because we're loading and actually compiling this BPF tool. So it's going to take us a second. All right, we're back. The lab has reloaded. You see we're back at 0. Those tasks have not run yet. We've got the 2 init tasks, and now we have the new health task. We can also see that it has a new version. It last run at And so let's go test the whole thing again. We're still in the feature branch. And so this one is going to take a while. So this one went green. What I really want to test is if this make file is correct. So I typically open the IDE now and look at the files. Here I believe the make file to be potentially either out of sync. And let's read what we're going to do. So let's open a new shell. All right, and now we're going to make Helm. That actually looks like it's deployed. Interesting. I am surprised. Now Cubescape is also working. The task that we had a bug in previously now is also working. Brilliant. Great. Two. And now I just need to check that Cubescape is doing what I actually wanted to do. In this case, it should be just giving us info type of events. Info type of events are telling us that it's either recording a container, it's watching a container, it's ignoring a container, it's stopped recording a container, all of these things, or just general information on loading rules or the tracers being started. Or sometimes the tracers also say that too many events, that there might be the danger of dropping some events. So yeah, it saw our app here. Now is if it actually deployed this bill of behavior. Want to see if the CRD exists. And in order to check if a CRD exists, I can of course, just use kubectl, but I can also go into this Explorer tab here, right? Application profile. Here we go. But this is new. Yeah. So this one, it just created it. It was not deployed with the web app. And that's exactly what we wanted. We wanted to have it installed without an application profile. So my test here so far is good. So this mermaid diagram seems to have said goodbye to me. Let's check what's wrong with the mermaid. So Iximiuz Labs supports mermaids, and I seem to be the only person who keeps on having these issues with them. I still haven't figured out why exactly, but let's see if we have an error in it. No, we do not have an error in it. This was a classical resolution of the error by pushing some change. You saw I just took out commented code. So essentially it was a white space change. So there was no functional change at all. I just pushed it and now the mermaid is loading. I have no clue why this is happening. Also, again, I seem to be the only user that has this issue.